Great evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, another Wednesday night. We're excited. I'm telling you, we got every reason to be, and you should be excited too. Welcome to the platform tonight, MWR. We're going to be getting into a heavy conversation as it relates to your future and mine and the possibilities. I want you to begin to dream again. Tonight is that night. Pull those dreams off the shelf. Believe that these things are possible. You now have a real vehicle that will assist you in getting where you desire to be in your financial life. I'm telling you, let's create the life that God has planned for us. We just need a way to do it, some tools. I mean, some assistance, and we've got that tonight. Joining me on the platform, my good friend and business partner, Mr. Eric Wilton out of South Florida. Welcome to the platform, sir.
Good evening, Dr. Parker. How are you tonight?
If it gets any better, my friend, I won't be able to stand it. I'm telling you, right when I thought MWR could get what was as good as it could get, and these guys turned the corner and showed me something else. Every page, every chapter is different, Eric. It seems to propel us to a whole new level, puts us in a position to win and win in a major way. I'm honored to share this platform with you, but listen, I would be remiss if I didn't let our audience know who they've been joined by and what you stand for and what you represent. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, he's the host of the longest running syndicated real estate radio show, talk show in a radio talk show in South Florida. I mean, phenomenal. Listen, plug in when you can. Eric, give them the details at some point during the presentation so that they can see. I'm plugging in now pretty consistently. I think I sent you some messages the other day when you were on, but you're sharing some gems, some nuggets that help people understand what the possibilities are. But more importantly than that, I met you 3.5 years ago, and you shared with me day one, as we sat and talked about the possibilities of MWR. You talked about these core beliefs. And I always say that I've had an opportunity to meet your father. And ladies and gentlemen, I can say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I understand now where he gets it from, but he shares some very core beliefs, some deep beliefs that he has, some values that he wants to give everyone a chance to experience. And Eric, before we launch the platform tonight, let's talk about that because it's important.
It is, at least, I can tell you it's very important to me. And thank you for that nice introduction. And by the way, if you guys stay until the end, we got another surprise and some more great nuggets and a real opportunity to launch something big before the end of the year. But the things that you were talking about, Dr. Parker, when I was introduced to you, an entrepreneur, a gentleman, a scholar, somebody who's doing big things as well. And I'll talk about those in just a second. But the core belief that I have, in fact, that everything that I do centers around, number one, I believe that everyone should own a home. Be a homeowner. Okay. Imagine if this country was populated by nothing but homeowners, with the pride of ownership, the financial difference that it makes, and so forth. Belief number two is that you should have that house, that financial house, in order as well. And that means having a written plan. Now, I know that that's a challenge. Most people say, oh, no, I got it up here in my head. And I'm going to tell you that if it's up in your head, it's probably A, not clear. Okay. And the biggest problem people have today is clarity, understanding A, where they are and where they really want to be, and in something that drives them. So a written plan, whether you call it a business plan, a life plan, a financial plan, whatever it is, but you got to have it in writing because you got to have something to come back to when all the distractions in life, all the commercials and all the social media is pulling you in 50 different directions. Having a written financial plan is vital. And belief number three is that we need to have multiple streams of income. Gone are the days of somebody working 40 years of their life and the company taking care of them. Gone are the years of, things just not changing. I mean, the only change that's guaranteed is that there will be more change. And that's why having multiple streams of income is safety. That's where security is. It's not even government jobs anymore. Ask the 11,000 people in Washington. Ask, the tens of thousands of people being let go all over the place in what they thought were safe and secure jobs. But here's the good news. And one of the things that keeps me really motivated is that there's a movement today in this country of people looking for an opportunity. The great pandemic, which I call the great accelerator, It gave people a taste of what it's like to work from home or work remotely, to be their own boss or be in charge of their own time. And a lot of people liked that taste and they want more of it. And that's why right now we're at a particularly interesting time, one of the best times in history when you think about, what's going on, the AI revolution, the technology that's going on right now is bigger than the invention of fire. It's bigger than the internet itself. And you and I are living right in the middle of this. But you know what the one conversation, Dr. Parker, you know what the one conversation that everybody has every single day is?
Money.
Money, right? How to make it, how to keep it, how to save it, how to protect it. That is the number one conversation that everybody's having. And tonight, we're going to dance right in the middle of the most common conversation that happens every single day. And you're going to hear of some things, some products and services. And by the way, if you're in the real estate business, like I am, if you're in the mortgage business, like I am, if you're in any of the financial services, you're going to see something brand new tonight. And I'm talking about a company in the category of one. And so I'm going to hand it back over to you, Dr. Parker, because you get me started. I will not stop.
Eric, we love it. Listen, every time you're on the platform, you're dropping nuggets. Guys, I'll ask you to do this. Grab a pencil and paper, particularly if you're here for the first time. You're going to want to take some notes on this. We're going to circle back at the end of the presentation and open the platform up for any questions that you might have. We don't want you to leave this platform tonight without having a full understanding of what you've seen and heard. So as we go through, take your notes and let's come back to it. Listen, as you said, Eric, we've got a lot in store tonight. We're going to see something different on the platform, but I'm excited to talk tonight about what I consider to be the greatest opportunity that exists on planet Earth. And ladies and gentlemen, that is MWR, Make Wealth Real. See, this is where lifestyle and legacy connect. And here's the exciting part. We're the only lifestyle and legacy company of its kind. Eric, that means it's never been done before.
That is absolutely correct. And that's why I say, this is a company in a category of one, the fastest financial services, the growing company in the country right now in its own category. And so I'm going to turn it back over to you because what we want to talk about is two things, right? It's lifestyle. That's why we go to work today, why we do what we're doing 8 hours or 10 hours a day. But the main reason we're doing that is something else, something even bigger, right? And that's our legacy.
Absolutely. I'm saying it, I'm seeing it play out in real time with many people. And one of those gentlemen is on this platform tonight. And we hope we have an opportunity to hear from him when you talk about legacy. What he's put in motion has guaranteed that legacy for his family. So we're excited, guys. We're on a mission. What is that mission? To create more financially independent families than any other company in history. So how are we going to do that? By helping people make more money without working harder for it. I like where we're going on this one, Eric. To make more money without working any harder.
Yeah, the days of if you want to make more money, just work harder are over. And it's not even just about working smarter. It's having the right resources, it's having the right access. You see, a lot of what we're going to talk about, while I tell you that it's new because the company and the way that it's bringing it, making it accessible, but a lot of these ideas and concepts are time tested, century old strategies that the wealthy have been using all along. And they're not even that big of a secret, right? You and I have heard about it. Everybody has heard about the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the Musks, the Gates, and everything, but they don't really participate in those circles. And therefore, they don't have access unless they already have a lot of their own money. And this is what's really revolutionary is the access of the financial information and literacy that is now being brought to Main Street.
You said the key word, sir, access. We've leveled the playing field with this MWR concept. Ladies and gentlemen, we've cracked the code. See, at MWR, we've created a simple, proven way to fast track your financial independence in months or years, not decades. What are the keys? How do we get this done? Leverage and what Eric just mentioned, access. Guys, we've got it now. As I mentioned, we've leveled the playing field, so we've got a real chance at winning your all access pass. Invitation only now. for those who are interested in creating lifestyle and legacy membership for select individuals ready to transform their financial future. Raise your hand if you're ready. I know that I am. See, this is your gateway to experts and strategies that save and make you more money by doing the work for you. Eric, I mean, you think about it. We offer an opportunity that doesn't require you to have to be able to figure the pieces out yourself. We bring trained, licensed experts to the table to assist you. Same tools that wealthy people have always had access to, and we've got trained experts holding our hand through the entire process.
And and that's one of the keys is having not only trained but vetted. These are experts that have been tested, that have been interviewed and researched. And see, you and I can't be experts in every area of finance. The field is just too broad. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. However, we can have access to the experts in each individual area. And therefore, and by the way, that's one of the secrets of the wealthy, right? They surround themselves and have access to the people that they need for the information that they want.
That's what I'm saying. And we've got the upper hand now, guys. Listen, as we talked about, this one of the platforms is our one of a kind precious metals platform. And this is, I mean, this is really what all the buzz is about right now with MWR, what all the excitement is about. So you here tonight to see and hear it all, why people are just jumping toward MWR and standing in line to get a piece of this. America's first precious metals rental program. Once again, Eric, this has never been done. See, we've made precious metals a monthly income producing asset without the risk, without headaches, or the skills that you need to participate in stock and crypto and Forex, some of those other risky propositions. But Eric, it says real estate, but I want to come to you on this one because it seems to me that this platform sort of mimics real estate investing. I mean,
Yeah.
the theories are the same, the concept, the layout. It's amazing.
It is pretty special when you think about it. And by the way, gold just recently hit an all-time high. Silver is running away like crazy right now. And hard assets, look what real estate has done over the last several years. If you have the knowledge and the access to the right tools, this is a great time in history. If you don't, you're wondering what happens. But see, here's the cool thing, right? Whether it's real estate, precious metals, or any of the other, I'm very partial towards what I call hard assets, right? The stuff that you can touch, the stuff that's hard to make more of, right? There's a finite amount of real estate, there's a finite amount of, precious metals still in the earth. But here's the thing. There's two ways that these assets grow, right? Number one is because the supply is limited and the demand is ever growing, right? The population of the world now approaching 8 billion people. There's a lot of people looking for limited assets. So the value is only going to go up over time. It'll have cycles and it'll have up and down cycles. Don't worry about that. But it will go up in value because scarce items looked for by growing demand, the price goes up. And whether it's any of these assets that we talk about. So that's one way that these assets grow, and why I love real estate and this what we're talking about. But number two is that when you can also lease out these hard assets to people who need to use them for whatever reason that they do, right? Whether it's business, personal, or whatever. And you can get income. So you can actually stack these assets, get multiple streams of income like I was talking about before. And this is what kind of got me intrigued when I was originally presented this company. In fact, they didn't even have this precious metals platform when I started with this business, a couple of years ago. This is a revolution in the precious metals. But as you said, the concepts are time tested, hard assets appreciating over time and generating income. And this is where we're able to go to people out there who are having that conversation about money every single day and say, listen, it's not going to be your credit that stops you, because we're going to talk about we have a solution for any credit problem out there. Number one, it's not down payment or access to, or having enough money to start, because we're going to show you how to get access to that money and to that funding. So as we started out by saying, you're going to hear a one-of-a-kind, comprehensive platform here that, depending on what you want, you might pick and choose only a couple of the things, and the price of membership is far outweighed by the benefits. But imagine if you used all of these things, it's a win-win.
Price of a cup of coffee a day gives you access, my friend. So precious metals at MWR, listen, it's more than just a safe haven to store wealth. We've changed the game. We're going beyond appreciation now, Eric. So now you can ride the wave of precious metals gains while also earning an average of 1 to 2% per month in passive income. That's 12 to 24% annually on your precious metals portfolio at the same time with MWR's exclusive precious metals rental agreement. But I must say now, past performance doesn't guarantee future success or future results, but I'm seeing some very powerful things happening.
Yeah, those are numbers that most people aren't used to seeing. Why? Because they didn't have access. I've been operating in the real estate world where people don't invest for less than 10, 12, 14%. In the specialty areas, these are real returns. A lot better than your 0 point nothing percent that the bank pays you for keeping your money and letting your money get eaten up by inflation.
Mm.
So this is cool.
This is real cool, my friend. I'm telling you. Well, again, it's never been done. So we have the ability now to help you transform your future with precious metals. All you got to do is follow our wealth plan. And now you're in a position to accumulate hundreds of thousands to millions in silver while simultaneously producing a six-figure passive annual income in 5 years or less. Eric, that ties right into your plan. I mean, you talk about creating the lifestyle that you want in 5 years or less, putting yourself in a position where money now is flowing to you while you sleep, travel, or enjoy time with the people that you love.
And that's what I think is so cool as well. I and a couple of other partners have been working in the area of real estate, talking about how to create a 5-year career plan. I mean, who said that you have to work 40 years in your life? Today, it's not about the big that eat the small, it's the fast that eat the slow. And those people who understand how money works, compounding, the different assets and resources that are available, and aided by, imagine having the experts on speed dial, not worrying about the 150, 250, $350 an hour that it costs to get great financial advice or great tax advice. That's all built in to what we're talking about tonight.
Powerful, sir. No question about it. So let's talk to the person that might say, I want to participate. You've shown me something pretty attractive with these return on a silver investment, not just taking advantage of the appreciation, but creating a passive income, right? But I don't have the funds. So we say, no problem. Why? Because we're going to provide you with three comprehensive solutions to fund your precious metals portfolio with or without using your existing income. Eric, talk about how we do this.
Yeah. And, when I first met you and this company, the company used to talk about the 4-3-2-1 strategy. And I loved it because it was super simple. And I heard it once and I got it. You see, there's four major financial obstacles that prevent people from retiring financially independent. Do you know that 80% of Americans will earn over $2 million during their life? Okay, just think about it.
Wow.
The average $50,000 a year salary times 20 years is 1 million, times 40 years is 2 million, and yet most people end up retiring dependent on Social Security. So, what are those four major financial roadblocks? Well, it's taxes, right? Income taxes, especially. But taxes eat up about 1/3 of your income. Number two is interest and finance charges. People are today living beyond their means, and because things are so expensive, they have to borrow to keep up and stay even, which isn't really even, right? Number three, we are the biggest economy in the world and probably the best marketing in the world, and we market ourselves out of our future, right? We're taught and ingrained to have immediate gratification and buy the next shiny object. We have experts that help you to put that under control. Each one of these things. And then, of course, then there's the silent killer, inflation. People don't talk about it. It's been in the news a lot over the last year and a half, but people don't understand how inflation is eating up. You take one step forward and it pulls you a half a step back. You take another step forward, you wonder why you're not getting ahead. So we have these three solutions, right? Number one, income savings. The income that you are already making right now, could be better. You could increase it 10, 20, 30% if you could save on taxes. And we've got tax experts on speed dial for you to submit your last 3 years tax returns, submit what your current W-2, W-4, they'll analyze it. We have a cool little product called the Instant Pay Raise. You used it when you first joined the company. Got a $300 pay raise without having to ask your boss, simply by
That's it.
filling out the proper paperwork, right? Number two, additional income, right? Once we get our money back from taxes, lowering our taxes, reducing our interest, showing you how to correctly and efficiently pay off your debt in less time. Now you take those savings and go out and buy some nice Gucci watches and some big screen TVs, right? No,
Oh.
sir. Now you've got the experts, and we're going to show you, first of all, how to even use this tool to generate additional income. Okay, so we're going to save you money, we're going to add to that money, and then we're going to show you how to invest that money. And then we're even going to show you, we even have trusts and so forth that are available to help you to protect your money. But the big accelerator in all of this, and whether it's real estate, precious metals, or any other asset class out there, the secret is leverage,
Yeah.
right? Is leverage and access to funding. You see, if you have unlimited access, you can do unlimited things. When you have limited access to funding, you have a great limitation. In fact, for some people, it means that they just can't go forward. Well, we have a program, our business funding program, and you see how comprehensive this membership is. You have access to guaranteed business funding, which, by the way, is based not on your Social Security number, but on your company. Okay. And whether you're starting a brand new company or you have an existing company, MWR is going to show you how to get access to a minimum, guaranteed minimum of $50,000, guaranteed. So you follow the plan, you get the money. And then now you can take that money as seed money. And whether it's for your business to help grow your existing business, invest in some of the things that we're talking about today, the bottom line is that we're giving you the experts and the funding and the savings to put it all together.
Hey, a roadmap to success. Each of these solutions are done for you or with you using financial experts, as Eric had mentioned, and team leverage. So, Eric, let's dig a little deeper on these three solutions. Let's go to solution number one. We talk about income savings. You mentioned putting money back into my pocket, saving money on taxes, all of those things. So talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, because so when you have access to these experts and then you submit information, by the way, it doesn't have to be highly personal. They don't need your social security number. They don't need, sensitive information, but show them the statements, show them where the money is going, and they'll create that written financial plan that I was talking about. They'll create a savings program and advice on how to do that. You see, the average monthly savings for our members runs somewhere between $700 and $2,000. Think about that. That's per month, by the way. So think about that. That $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 a year. Most people can't save that much money on their own, but they can with the experts. And our experts help you to keep more of the money that you already make. They help you to eliminate the debt that's, I have this expression that I use on the radio show. Debt is the middleman between you and financial independence.
Yes, sir.
As long as debt is holding you back, and we eliminate debt, we slash the taxes, lower the bills, boost your credit. We even have a health savings program, and we put everyday savings back into your pocket so that you can make wise decisions with the experts on what to do with it.
Wow. Go to solution number two. Now, here's the one I know you enjoy and I enjoy too. You talk about adding the ability to have the ability to make additional money, right? So MWR has a residual payout, our luxury residual pay that, I mean, from $5 a day to as much as $15,000 a day. And Eric, we get paid every single day. Kind of break this down for our audience and help them understand how powerful this really is.
Well, everybody's always heard about the example. You go to a movie, have a great movie, you tell a friend, they go see the movie, they like it, they tell a friend, and they go see the movie, or a great restaurant. But the movies haven't sent me any money before. And even though I endorse and I'll tell people about a great thing, In today's day and age, and thanks to today's technology, the idea of affiliates, in other words, the more people spreading the news, is now a mainstream thing. And so MWR, smart with the finances, said, listen, why don't we have an affiliate program that allows people to go out not only to share their experience and make their own lives better, but to be able to benefit by sharing the news and spreading the good word and helping more people to become financially literate and financially independent. And so they created a revenue sharing plan. And, some of us call this a retirement plan. Some of us call this a revenue share. I call it a money menu, because depending on what you want to do, how far are you willing to roll up your sleeves, really, is really the bottom line. But let me give you an example of how to create an additional income stream. And by the way, I'm going to talk about one, maybe two, maybe three, but there's over 7 different income streams in the MWR compensation plan. So one thing is nice to be able to give referrals, right? That's common news. I give a referral and I get a small reward. But what if I could build a team, a referral army out there? And not only do I get compensated for the referrals that I give, but I get compensated for the referrals that my referrals give. And that's what this is. And with as few as 3 people on my team, okay, 3 qualified marketing directors, and they're called, right? We're marketing, sharing the information. Are we doing the work? No, we're directing people to the experts that MWR has assembled. So if I were to find, and I'll tell you, there's not a person on tonight's broadcast that doesn't have 3 people in their phone that they could probably call up and say, listen, I found out something that could be literally life-changing, a financial solution that everybody needs. Do you want to go on this crusade? Do you want to go on this mission to build an additional revenue stream? Because see, what MWR has done is created a salary-like luxury residual income, and that's what they call it, luxury residuals, that when I find 3 people to join my team, okay, and I introduce this membership to one other person, MWR starts to pay me a daily, okay, and that's 7 days a week, 365, $5 a day. Now, to some of you, that's pretty interesting. To others, you say, well, that doesn't really move the needle, but it does prove the concept that with as little as 3 people, I can now generate a monthly revenue stream of $150 a month, not for nothing. By the way, that was probably 1 day's or a couple days work that's going to pay you for the rest of the year a total of $1,800. But here's the cool thing. Now, what if now in month 1, by the way, if you do that I said you could do it in days, but if you did that in the first 30 days, MWR will also give you another $150 bonus on top of that monthly revenue stream. And oh, by the way, those people that joined your team just earned you a $50 fee also. So between the $150 a month, the $150 bonus, and the $150 for your 3 members, that's $450 in the first 30 days. And show me another business out there that you could start today and be in the black by the end of the month. But here's the thing. Now, what am I going to do at the end of the first month? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take those 3 people and I'm going to show them how I did this in the first 30 days. If they do that in their first 30 days, they're going to make that $450, but I'm going to get also a bonus of $450. Notice the integrity and the wisdom in incentivizing not just to go out and tell everybody go wide, but go deep. Show people how to duplicate what you did. And the more of us that would duplicate this, the better it is for everybody. But when you did that in the first 60 days and you got that $450 bonus, you also got promoted that instead of getting $5 a day, you're getting $20 a day. Now do the math. $20 times 30 is 600. That's a nice car payment, right? And it's in my first 60 days. Where else can you go out and market something and earn a car in 60 days? Well, the company says don't stop there. Let's go with the next month and help the next incoming freshman class to get their 3. You do that. By now, you've got 3 who got 3. Now you're at 12. You got those 12, help them get 3. Now you're at 36. And the company has, you've built a business, by the way. So far, I have only personally enrolled 3 people, but my team has now built it to 36 because of duplication. And at 36, the company now says you're now eligible to earn $50 a day. Again, do the math. 50 times 30 average month is $1,500 a month. By the way, if you did all that sequence in the first 90 days, you got another $900 bonus. So you see how this business starts to create momentum. And that's the whole idea behind those momentum bonuses. But here's the main thing right here. You can generate a 6-figure plus income if you're just willing. Look at that column, the brown column right there. I ran down the first 3. I'm not going to go down every single line, but pick your number. Is $200 a day, $6,000 a month good enough? That's greater than the average salary out there. And we got people all day long reaching that level. How about $1,000 a day? Do you know what $1,000 a day is? That's $30,000 a month. And yes, there are people in the company that have achieved that rank. Gerald, I'll ask you, if you were making $1,000 a day, what changes?
Everything, my friend. The car you drive, the house you live in, the clothes you wear, where you send your kids to school, it changes everything, sir.
And so, by the way, Dr. Gerald Parker, who wasn't a doctor when I first met him, this business allowed him to pursue his dream and his passion, which is in building ministries and so forth. He is a serial entrepreneur, one of the original founding members of MWR. Today, let's see that Super Bowl ring. He is a $1 million residual income earner right there. And so what I want to share with you all is the opportunity. Okay. And by the way, Gerald Parker is how I met him. He was previously a maintenance supervisor in a corporational setting. Today, you saw the energy that he comes on. You see the smile that he has all day long. That's real and that's permanent. He walks on about 6 inches of air everywhere he goes because his life has been transformed. And yet, while doing his ministry, while doing well by doing good and helping other people to achieve financial independence. And this compensation plan right here is what allows you to be able to do whatever you decide you want to do if you're willing to roll up your sleeves for a little bit. How would you like to create a passive income stream greater than any job that you have out there right now in less than 5 years? And that's possible, whether it's in real estate or with this business. And in my case, why not both?
Absolutely, Eric. And listen, I mean, you said something that was very powerful. You don't have to do this alone. We've always said that Fernando Ramirez says that you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. But it's about leverage and taking advantage of that. Just a handful of people. Look at what happened with those 3 people and what your organization has turned out to be and what it continues to grow at. I mean, the pace that's growing at is just outrageous. But you started with 3 people. I think it was you that quoted J. Paul Getty. What is the term again as it relates to leverage?
Yeah, my favorite. I would rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of just my own.
Wow.
And it seems like, well, they're both 100%, but they're not, because we're not talking about just 100 people. Look at how these organizations grow to 90, 180, 300. The gentleman that is a good friend of yours and mine, who today is at $1,500 a day, that means that there's 3,000 people somewhere in the group that he's touched and helped that are now creating that kind of income. And by the way, think about that, $1,500 a day. Imagine every day if your bank account, and you and I both know, because and everyone who's already part of MWR knows that at around 5:04 every day, my cell phone dings and it says that your daily residual was just deposited into your account. when we're sitting a bunch of MWR folks together, our phones are all going off and we're all smiling, looking at each other because we know that's not just any text, that's a good text. And think about this, $1,500 a day, that's $45,000 a month. That's $547,000 a year. And if you keep going down the thing, I saw that and I turned to you. Remember what I said?
It's athlete's money.
That's athlete's money, man. And I'm not, the greatest athlete. I'm athletic, but I'm not an athlete that makes that kind of money. But you can, and you can do it right here.
$15,000 a day, man. It's a pretty good start. Over $5 million a year. You can really make some things happen with that. But Eric, before we leave this slide, I want people to understand the importance of what we're laying out here. 36 people on your team. You started with three. You help those three do the exact same thing. And then you just duplicate the process one more time. So we're 3 levels deep. 36 people positions you to get a guaranteed $50 a day, $1,500 a month. Now compare that $1,500 a month to the average Social Security income for the average American in this country who's already spent 30 or 40 years of their life just to get that amount.
It's sad, and it doesn't have to be that way. And here we are, we're laying out basically a color by the numbers method, how to create an additional income stream. And if you like, how to build, something very significant, a real asset. This is building an asset.
Wow. Well, and again, I mean, you're a numbers guy and you study this stuff closely. What is the average Social Security income in the US?
The average social, here's the thing. I've asked people, it says, what do you think the maximum social security check is? And people will say things like $10,000, $8,000. And I go, listen, the maximum social security check that anybody in the United States receives is $4,000. Okay. That's the maximum if you paid in the maximum for the longest period of time. However, and Social Security, you can go at ssa.gov and look every year. Social Security publishes the numbers, and the average, the common Social Security check that goes out is about $1,600. So, as you were saying, 40 years of your life for the government to turn around and hand you a measly check of $1,600, or and I can do that in 90 days with bonuses and extras here with MWR, talking about the number one conversation, which is money, credit, and investing. That conversation happens everywhere. It's the easiest conversation to start, and it's the most important one that you need to understand. Because, Gerald, you and I have talked a lot of times about the money game, right?
Yeah.
There is a money game out there. Wall Street is in on it. Washington is in on it, and big business is in on it too. But the average American, think about this. Our country is about to turn 250 years old. Okay. Have we not figured out that we need to teach financial literacy in school? Or is it that it doesn't happen by design?
Does not happen by design, sir. Purposely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's going to change now with this company. Today you may never have heard of MWR Financial, but I guarantee you, as the groundswell movement continues to grow, either you're going to tell somebody about MWR or somebody else is going to tell you about MWR. Which side of the coin do you want to be on?
Wow, we pull back the curtain. Listen, we bring to the table the ability for people to get their financial life in order, the tools, the system, and the experts. And you and I, Eric, don't have to be experts in any of these areas. I mean, and that's the beauty of what we do. We're bringing the solution to the problem that 98% of the people in this country are facing. The issue is finances, and we've got the fix. You mentioned earlier speeding up the process, all right, condensing time frames. Solution number three gives us a chance to do just that with business funding.
That's right. That is the accelerator, right? Anybody in real estate knows that if they had access to unlimited funding, they could buy unlimited properties and build a portfolio in a massive way. The wealthy use the bank's money as well. In fact, the bank uses your money as well. I often explain to people who don't even realize that when they deposit their money for quote unquote safekeeping, they're losing money every day on inflation, because today inflation, the government says that it's between 3%. whatever the government says, you can just multiply it by two. When they were saying that it was 9%, it was 18%. You saw what happened since the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
But the bottom line here is that the wealthy use other people's money the same way the bank uses your money, because while they're paying you 0 point nothing percent, they're lending it out at 7% on mortgages, 10% on cars, 30% on credit cards. And when that money comes back in, do they put it back into your account? No, they lend it out again and again and again. Often 9 to 11 times your money is working for the bank, earning them, hundreds of percents. And now you know why banks have the biggest, best buildings in the best locations, and why they're too big to fail. You see, MWR Fundable 360 is the program that we're talking about right now. It is a program that teaches you how to guaranteed get access to a minimum of $50,000 funding, recognized by Forbes. So it's not a fly-by-night company. Entrepreneur Magazine, Inc. Magazine, they have been doing this, and they have proven that you can get money. And again, a lot of business people that I thought were very sophisticated people didn't know that there's two credit scores. There's a personal credit score and there's a business credit score. Most businesses never develop their own business credit score. Imagine if you were taught how to do that. You could borrow money personally, and you could borrow money professionally or commercially. No personal credit risk on the business money, no collateral required, no personal guarantees, and no strings attached. Use the money for whatever you want to do.
That's a big deal, sir. Absolutely. This opens the door to unlimited possibility. The most complete wealth plan ever developed. I spoke with a financial service advisor. Guy's been in the business for 30 plus years. Shared this concept with him, and his what he said basically, his statement was this: that is the most comprehensive financial platform ever offered to the general public. You think about it, income savings, additional income, business funding, assets you're building with precious metals, passive income, and appreciation, providing you with the savings, income, and funding you need to accumulate passive monthly income producing assets all in one platform without you working any harder. Eric, I'm going with the script here, and I believe it with everything in me. That's how you make wealth real, faster and smarter.
Right. And the important part about this is look at all of these things. These things have all existed for a long time. This is not just a brand new shiny object and a new different thing. This is paying attention to your credit. We hardly talked about it. We have a very robust credit platform that repairs credit, regardless of what it is. It's not overnight, but it is a proven, vetted credit restoration business that, by the way, is included in the membership. I know people who pay hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars to get their credit repaired, in many cases, by these fly-by-night credit companies, and they don't get any results. Imagine having the experts again on speed dial, that no matter where you starting, this company will meet you where you're at. I got bad credit, I'll get it fixed. I have no money, I'll find the money. I have money, but I want to invest. You see, we have level 1, level 2, and level 3 financial advice. You see, at level 1, we talked about the taxes, the interest, and your monthly expenses. Everybody, I don't care whether you have $2 in your wallet or $2 million in the bank account, you need this financial advice. And quite frankly, I have a lot of clients who look at me when I pick up the phone and I call, for example, I call my CPA here at MWR. I used to have a CPA that I would have to pay by the hour. Today, I don't pay by the hour. I pay a nominal monthly membership fee, but I have the top level unlimited access. You talk about starting a business. Well, what kind of business should you start? Everybody is a little bit different. Should I get an S corp, an LLC? Should I set it up as a partnership or a sole proprietor? Well, stop guessing. you've got your back office of vetted financial advisors. And no matter how complex, because I've done some things where I've asked about out of state uh, entities in where the assets are anonymous, and they have the answer and they escalate it to the level. There hasn't been one thing that they couldn't solve for me. And I'll tell you, it has paid for my membership for the next several years.
Hey, Eric, you think about it. We're going to get to the cost, folks, in just a minute, but you think about the suite of services that we bring to the table that the average person now has full access to change their entire financial landscape. You're talking CPAs, financial planners, enrolled agents, credit restoration experts, debt elimination expert, investment consulting, a bill shredded component, trust my assets, land banking, and my favorite and yours, keys to home ownership. I mean, true access to this platform. It brings all of that to the table.
Absolutely. And so now, and I should have asked this at the very beginning, everyone on this call, how comfortable are you? And forget what you have heard, because this may have given you a lot of optimism now going forward. But when you came on this call, probably because you're looking for something, how comfortable are you and how certain are you with your current retirement plan? Is it going to allow you to retire in the manner in which you always hoped and dreamed for? Are you comfortable that your retirement plan is all set and taken care of? Or do you have concerns? Imagine now that you have where to go with your concerns and you don't have to be concerned with what it costs me by the hour.
It's a big deal, man. I'm telling you. Listen, we've developed and created a community here, and getting started is quite simple. Eric, we've got two options here.
That's right. By the way, I call this the financial Costco membership, right? You go to Costco and you have all of these options and all of these benefits. And why do you pay an annual fee to walk into a supermarket where you're going to spend money, right? Why? Because it's worth it. Because the return, the benefit of being a member of Costco, and our good friend Wendell Phillips, who is a member of Costco, BJ's, and Sam's Club. And I asked them, why do you have all three of those memberships? Because they offer something a little bit different, but they're worth it. And so here, option number one, just the membership. Let's just talk about just the membership. Access to all of the benefits that we talked about today is $149.97 a month. There are no setup fees, no contracts. There's there's no long-term commitment. There's no junk fees. And here's the beautiful part. That 149 covers two people located at the same address. And by the way, here it says spouse included, but it could be a domestic partner, it could be father, mother, father, son, mother, daughter, whatever, roommates. 149. So it's really half that cost for all of that. Imagine, Gerald, if I asked you, listen, I got a membership here that on average saves people over $1,000 a month. Would you invest 149.97 to receive $1,000 back?
All day, every day, my friend.
Every day, right? And the more you use it, the more you save. Now, there's option two. Option two is the membership, all the benefits that we talked about, plus the ability to generate income, those affiliate fees that I talked about. Membership plus multiple streams of income. And what's the difference? A one-time $100 setup fee. And this is what gives you your own custom-made website, your own URL, all the marketing material, banners, and social media access that you want on your very professionally designed website facing outwards to the public, and a back office, very robust system, which, by the way, comes with expert CPAs, CFPs, IRS enrolled agents, and so forth, but tracks all of your business so you know that your referrals and your revenue and where you stand, plus marketing material, plus training material. When you think about all of that, again, I asked before, where can you start a business? Most business owners hope to recover their investment by the end of the first year. I just showed you how to make $150 in the first 30 days. That would cancel out your membership, by the way. So you would have a self funded business in less than 30 days. And from there on in, it's all nothing but profit. And it's up to you how big you want to build it. So there's really, there's three options, right? You can go at the end of this presentation, go back to what you were doing, continue on the path that you were going, and just remember that question, are you comfortable that your retirement is all set and taken care of, or do you have some concerns? Would the experts that we just talked about on speed dial be worth the investment that could mean the difference between retiring on Social Security or retiring without the need for Social Security with the income that you design?
It's a beautiful thing. And listen, you talk about a $249.97 investment as a business owner with access to the membership and multiple streams of income. $249.97, Eric, puts us one in business with the fastest growing financial strategist company in the country. That's MWR. But not only that, it puts you and I in the middle of a multi-trillion dollar year industry, financial services. And again, we bring the solution to the table without having to be the experts. I don't know of another business in this country that you can start with this sort of income potential for only $249.97. Now, let's talk about your real estate business. That initial property that you purchased to get you started years ago, could you do it for 249.97?
Not even close. Not even close. It's a whole different thing. And by the way, we're using this system. And by the way, if you really think about it, Gerald, this is a 100% IRS compliant turnkey business in a box for $249, that you're buying a business, not starting a business, because the formula already exists. The program, all of the programming, everything already exists, proven, vetted. By the way, we failed to mention that this company has been around since 2017. Okay. So
Yes.
this is not hey, where did this company come from? This company has built a solid foundation. It is a debt-free $1 million company, multi-million dollar company in a multi-trillion dollar industry. So I said before, hang out until the end, because for some of the folks that are in MWR right now, and for anyone that joins us before the end of the week, we're doing what's called an Equity Accelerator 21-day challenge. You see, they say that you can build a new habit simply by doing something for 21 days in a row.
Yes.
We're going to show you through some very easy daily steps how to win using this system. We're going to break down the massive goal of real estate ownership into one small, powerful action, whether it's real estate, precious metals, or whatever else that you design. The concept is the same, but we're going to give you the blueprint a little bit every single day for 21 days. You're going to spend the first week, understanding where is your point A. We're going to talk about killing bad debt. You see, the secret to wealth is taking bad debt, eliminating bad debt, substituting it with good debt that acquires assets, assets that create income. And ladies and gentlemen, income is the outcome that matters. In week 2, we're going to talk about finding hidden money, how to fund whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's a down payment on your first house or your 21st investment property. We're going to show you how to get additional funds to invest in precious metals or do whatever it is that you want to do. And then by day 21, you're going to have a complete blueprint. And if you follow the steps that we're going to give, you will have and be earning, a positive cash flow, and you'll have built your first wealth building asset in 21 days. Think about that.
That's pretty
How do you
powerful.
I'm going to put a phone number in the chat, and if you are interested in learning more about that, text the word challenge. Okay. Challenge, CHALLENGE, to 561-861-2366. You're going to get an automated response. I just put it in the chat. Text the word challenge. Now, this is across, no matter who invited you, you're going to want to get back together with the person that invited you. so that you can get the details of how to become a member of the MWR community. This challenge is only for members of the MWR community. But if you're interested in learning more, even if it's just to get the information, text the word challenge to 561-861-2366. Back to you, Dr. Parker.
I'm all in, sir. I'm all in. You've helped us develop a roadmap. For lack of a better word, a roadmap that's going to help you guarantee your success. We talked about acceleration, using the bank's money, and we want you to know that Fundable 360 is an option because I mean, if you walked in off the street to an office to secure that kind of service, it would cost you about $5,000 because you're an MWR member exclusively through MWR. It's only $2,995. We spoke earlier, Eric, about those who might want to participate who say, well, I don't have the money. We've already showed you how you can generate the income that you need. $50 a day, $1,500 a month with 36 people on your team. Not only that, you're going to get paid to refer others to the MWR Fundable 360 concept. $500 per referral, $550 to be exact. And not only that, you're going to get paid on everyone that's joined you in business. Everybody on your team that is referring a business owner, you're going to generate income there too. I don't know where it gets any better. I mean, for just sharing these concepts, you're going to get paid and have the ability to generate a ridiculous amount of money.
And not only that, think about it. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Okay. That's another proven fact. You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. If the people that you're spending time with right now aren't the average that you want, it's time to find new people, and every year I look around and, it's not a mean thing. It's not a terrible thing. I'm not telling you to get rid of relatives or get rid of your family. I'm telling you that you need to hang around. If you want the financial results that you want, you've got to hang around the people. Now, here it is. I get to hang out with a $1 million ring earner entrepreneur, Dr. Gerald Parker. We become great friends and we speak regularly. Fernando Ramirez, another serial entrepreneur, a proven businessman that is out in California, Europe, and North Carolina. I'm down here in Florida. And yet we're as close as brothers because we get to share, number one, a great mission to help other people. Number two is that we know how to answer that question. Are you comfortable that your retirement is all set? This is a color by the numbers system that is now available not just to the wealthy, to the country club crowd, but to anybody that wants to, simply by choosing one of the 2 options. And for me, by the way, when I think about, how fast, $100 can disappear versus $100 having a business, an asset, something that I can build and earn, thousands of dollars with, for me, there was only one choice.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, when you talk about how quick $100 can disappear, and I know everyone has experienced this. You walk in the store with $100, you come out with 20 and don't know what you did with the 80. But again, thanks to MWR, we've developed the discipline to manage our money better. But Eric, you asked a pointed question earlier, and we're going to dig a little deeper here. Folks, we're wrapping it up now, but here's the question. And Eric already kind of got us started here. And be very honest. Put your answer in the chat, because I'm going to answer it too. Question 1, Eric mentioned it. Can what I'm currently doing outperform MWR's wealth plan without putting my money at risk? Yes or no? In many cases, the answer is no. Question 2, can what I'm doing right now give me the time freedom and passive income to enjoy it in 5 years or less? In many cases, the answer is no. So if you've answered no to either question, then your decision is made. And Eric, you started it and you laid it out, but these are the real questions that we now have to begin to ask ourselves.
Absolutely. And and this is something you don't have to answer publicly. You have to answer it for yourself. And at the end of the day, understand that we are a product of our decisions, right? Where we are today is based on the decisions we made 30, 60, 90 days ago, a year ago, several years ago. This is the time to really carefully make your decisions. And like you laid out, If the answer is no to either question, then your decision is probably made. The question is, will you take action on it? If it's not this, it take something, then what? And if not now, when? Right? And I
Yeah.
just told you that we're in one of the most exciting times. For some people, it's the worst of times. For some people, it's the best of times based on the decisions that they made. And with that, I've said everything that I wanted to say tonight. I love hanging around with you. You and I could go on for hours.
Listen, guys, your dream lifestyle is waiting. We've laid out a game plan. Eric has even added an additional tool that we can access. And you mentioned earlier about, putting the plan on paper, right? Being able to see it visually and be able to follow that print, that blueprint. And you're going to offer us that. So we're saying that the person that invited you here is ready to help you get started today. And again, Eric, you've offered the opportunity to anybody, whether they're in your organization, as long as they're an MWR member, we're going to give them access to that platform so that they can begin to kind of lay out the game plan and follow that to have some success. We say don't wait. Every day that you delay could be costing you hundreds, even thousands of dollars in lost income, appreciation, and savings, that you and I know that we'll never get back. So now would be the time. On behalf of myself and Mr. Wilner, we want to welcome you to Make Wealth Real. Again, guys, this is where lifestyle and legacy connect. So with Eric, with that being said, I'll stop the screen share. We'll come out. We had talked about bringing Fernando on with the calculator. We may have run out of time, but guys, we're going to bring that on too, so you can have an idea of how that works and show you how all these pieces put together can create the lifestyle that most people dream of. So with that being said, Eric, Fernando is working in the background here. We have an opportunity to open up the platform for any questions. You now, folks, have the ability to unmute yourself as well as open your cameras. And we'd like to hear from you if you've got questions. We've got Randy Christensen here with us tonight. And I'm excited for him because he's made a bold move toward precious metals and pretty impressive what he and his wife have done. He sees the concept, he understands it, and he believes, like you do, Eric, in hard assets and took full advantage of the platform. And Fernando, again, Fernando Ramirez, our business partner in Southern California, is with us as well. Robert Clay, welcome to the platform. Guys, Ron Samuel, everybody who's here tonight, Miss Cece Howard, thank you so much for joining the platform. Eric, I want you to get used to that name, used to hearing that name, Miss Howard. I'm telling you, she is excited. She really has a great deal. And you and her are going to get along just fine. I'll make sure that we can tie you guys together because she also is in the real estate business, has held a license for years. And so that's going to be a great connection for her to meet you. Miss Amy, welcome to the platform. Good to have you. Great seeing you for the first time. So thank you so much for showing up. Randy Christensen, once again. Fernando, listen,
Gerald, you just mentioned Amy. Amy is a powerhouse in the
wow.
mortgage industry. These are the kind of people. Remember, I said the average that you hang around with. She's a powerhouse, an entrepreneur, a visionary, and that's the kind of people that we're attracting to this business. And they started out looking at just the fact that we have a robust credit platform. But when you start to see all of the other benefits that can help our customers, think about this, all the people around us that we can make a positive impact, a permanent positive impact, it can get you very excited. Amy and Jennifer, welcome. Glad you guys could make it. And I look forward to working with you guys as well.
Amy and Jennifer, I'm telling you, you're tied to the best guy in the industry. But here's what I'll say. If you're in the real estate business, stay with this guy because he's figured it out. And here's what I've seen happen with my own eyes. I've worked very closely with realtors across the country. Client walks into your office, can't qualify. Why? DTI credit, right? We've addressed those issues head on. We're going to provide them with an expert to fix those areas to get them qualified, to make them qualified buyers. So what does that mean? That means you'll never have to turn down anybody ever again. I challenge my realtors across the country that I'm working with. So I said, go to your dead files, right? All of those dead files, deals that were turned down. Let's bring those files back to life. Offer those clients an opportunity to reposition themselves so that they can win. So don't give up the dream on becoming a homeowner just because we couldn't get you through the process. We didn't have MWR platform that we can offer them that will put them in a position that you heard Eric talk about the cost covers two people. So this is a husband and wife paying for one membership, getting full access to credit restoration, debt elimination, all of those pieces that hurt. And then let's talk about down payment. We've shown you how we can put an average of $2,000 a month back into your pocket. How long does it take to position a person to have the necessary down payment to become qualified homeowners? But the story gets even better, Miss Amy and Jennifer. We've got the keys to home ownership. That program is hot with MWR. Thanks to Eric Wilner, it's here. But even if for whatever reason we can't get them qualified through that process, or it takes some time, we've got the keys to home ownership. These investors buy the property, put you in it. We've got 36 months to get you buyer ready. In that time, who's working on all your stuff? MWR, credit restoration, debt elimination, putting money back into your pocket. This program is insane. I've seen people who have desired to become homeowners for 20, 30 years. Their mother never owned a home. Their grandmothers never owned a home. They come from that situation, but they desire, they want to break the curse. They want to be the first ones in their family to own a home. And through this program, I've seen it happen. I've seen people come to the table, can't walk into a bank to qualify for traditional lending, but thanks to keys to home ownership, multiple people, friends of mine. I've got people in the program right now, Eric. We're this close to closing the deal for a young lady who's been renting this property for 12 years. And I asked her, what motivates you? She said, Gerald, it's not for me. It's for my children. She wants to be able to, this is part of her legacy. She wants to leave something. She can't leave in an apartment, right? So what are the children going to be able to start from? She's got something now that she can tie into and then pass on from generation to generation, all because of keys to home ownership. And I wish the young lady out of Maryland was with us tonight to tell her story, but I've seen it happen in Atlanta, Maryland, North Carolina, South Carolina. The young lady I'm speaking about lives in Virginia. So anywhere in the country, 50 states we're operating, this is explosive. It makes me want to get a real estate license. I'm telling you, you can do some great things.
So, Gerald, how do you feel about this business?
Listen, man, this is it for me. I'm telling you, MWR 8 years ago set me free. I want to paint a quick picture, and I'm going to let you guys go. Brian House, the CEO and founder of MWR, my friend of 20 years, called me and shared this concept with me before it was even a real company. It was just an idea, a vision that God had given him. He shared this with me and told me what he wanted to do, to create a financial strategies company that would fit the needs of the average everyday person, bring to the table tools and systems that were affordable. What Brian didn't know, at 55 years old, me, a grown man, going to a job every day, paid on Friday, broke on Monday. Jennifer, you've never had to do it, so you probably don't understand what I'm talking about. But I'm telling you, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I was too embarrassed to tell him, man, I need this. So I said, I'm going to be the product of the product. I jumped in with both feet, consulted with the CPAs the first weekend. Those guys put back $350 a month back in my check. 2 weeks later, I saw the money. $350, I'm ahead of the game. I move on to credit restoration. I come out of there with a 128-point increase in my credit score. Let me tell you what that did for me. It saved me money on my homeowner's automobile premium. I mean, it's the most $200 a month in saving. So here I am 120 days, Amy, into the program, $550 on the positive side of money. And those guys say, okay, let's create some discipline. Don't do the foolish thing that the old Gerald would do and blow the $550. Let's look at putting that money to work for you. So they shared this whole concept of self-banking, something that was foreign to me. I never heard of it. This whole private reserve account where I could put money into a fund, have access to that money anytime I want it for any reason I need it, never pay taxes on it, and then would be guaranteed never to lose any money. I told the guy, sitting right in front of him, Eric, and matter of fact, his name was Eric Elam. I said, you're insane. You're crazy. Who does that? He says, wealthy people do it every single day. I said, well, you got to show me how to do it. I took that same $550, started that private reserve account. Turns out it's paying me 10 times more than my 401k, put me in a position to retire in 10 years versus 25. Amy, at that point, I'm shouting glory, hallelujah. Why? Because for the very first time in my adult life, I've got a clear picture of what my financial future looks like. And then MWR says this, Gerald, you go out and tell this story and we'll pay you a ridiculous amount of money. I took them up on it. I started sharing this concept with anybody who would listen. At the gas station, the grocery store, the movie theater, it didn't matter where I saw you. I was going to tell you about this. I was going to show you what it had done for me. People gravitated toward it. Within 2 years, Amy, I started generating enough income to walk away from a $65,000 a year job. This very compensation plan that Eric has shown you, right? I gave that man back, but he gave me. I sit here tonight and declare before you, I am a free man because of this opportunity. And the joy of it for me is the impact that it has on the lives of so many other people. What I'm able to do to help people move themselves forward. I'm living proof that it works. Nobody could ever tell me that MWR is not real. I'm living it. And there's so many other people. I'm one of many. And as Eric said, we're on a mission, a crusade, a ministry. This is a movement, and we're going to set people free. If they desire to do it, we've got the tools to help them do it. And they're not in it by themselves. As our good friend Fernando Ramirez says, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. But speaking of Fernando Ramirez in Southern California, here's a man who saw this concept in 8 months, Jennifer, positioned himself as a regional director. You know what that pays? $200 a day, $6,000 a month, $73,000 a year. And I keep telling people, Eric, this is not a long-term proposition. Hit the ground running. Go tell this story and take advantage of everything these guys are bringing to the table. And guys, listen, before I go, I want to bring up Randy Christensen, if he doesn't mind. I want you to really hear from a gentleman, retired railroad worker. He drove locomotives, Eric, for 30 years, a train conductor, lives in Colorado, one of the best friends I've got. He's been around MWR for about 5 years, but I tell you what, this whole precious metals investment concept has sparked some crazy interest in Randy. He's lost his mind. He's jumped in with both feet and he's doing some incredible things. And what I love about what we do with precious metals, not only are you going to take advantage of the appreciation, but he's put himself and his wife in a position where they've got passive income, whether he gets out of bed or not. You know, I talked with him today. He said, hey, guess what happened to me last night while I was sleeping? Tell me what happened, Randy. This guy made money. That's a beautiful thing. But Randy, I'll give the platform to you if you don't mind just sharing your testimony with our audience and let them know what's possible and what you've just recently done.
Well, I've put $15,000 of our 401k or IRA, and we had to get rid of it anyway because I'm getting too old. But anyway, we did that, and then we put 15,000 in. It got us 260 coins, silver ounces, I guess. And now we're going to put in another 83,400. So I don't know where we'll go from there, but we're going.
Listen, do the math. That's nearly $100,000. This guy believes in it. You want to talk about legacy? We've just given him a vehicle to leave that legacy for his children. And I mean, I love it. I love it, Randy. Eric talks about hard assets. Hard assets are safe investments. You can touch it. You can feel it. You know, you can sleep with your silver if you wanted to, but you wouldn't make a return on it. So it would stay in the vault. But I'm saying that's the beauty of what we bring to the table. Average, everyday people who desire to win. We're going to provide them the platform to do it. Randy, I'm so proud of you and Cheryl. I'm coming to Colorado. It'll have to be next year after the winter goes by. I don't like cold weather, my friend.
I'm trying to build a legacy. I got 4 kids, 13 grandkids, and 5 great grandkids.
Well, I tell you what, here's what I can guarantee you. It'll be your picture and Cheryl's picture above the fireplace hanging on that mantle. I guarantee you that because you're going to give them an incredible start. This is beautiful. I love you, man. I tell you what, let's just keep going.
All right. And Eric and you, Dr. Parker, great job tonight. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it.
I wanted to say the same thing, Randy. I'm glad you said. I want to say to Eric, this one felt better than anything we've ever done. I don't know what it is about tonight, but it was special, my friend. It was, as Fernando and I always talk about when we're on the platform together, it's like a dance. But we did the tango tonight, my friend, and I love it. It felt real good. But before we go, Miss Howard, I mean, if you've got a minute, we'd love to hear from you. I definitely want to connect you with Eric. She's a realtor as well and an insurance broker. She's got a lot of things happening for her and some major influence in the Atlanta area. Miss Howard, please, if you don't mind opening your mic. There we go. Good evening.
Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trailblazing and having a path for us to walk on, who've been seeking and knocking and asking for a really long time. I had when I first started in real estate, I mean, there were so many people that wanted to work with me, friends and family. They were excited about getting a house. They were encouraged about getting a house. And 90% of them I couldn't get a loan for.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a
been my
reality.
heart. Everyone deserves a home.
I'm with you 1,000%. And anybody who's committed and coachable can have a home.
Yes. And deserves it.
Amen.
Miss
Yeah.
Howard, Eric's always saying, and I love it. He says, when the banks say no, we say yes. And the other point that he makes to me too, when he talks about home ownership, if you can pay rent, you can pay a mortgage. You know what the average rent in this country is right now? I don't care what state you're in, $2,000 a month. Who can afford that? To be actually, I mean, it's almost like opening the window, just throwing money away. I mean,
And by the
we
way,
all,
in my area, 2,000 gets you a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Just to give you an idea, rents are even higher than that, in certain parts of the country. Where Fernando is, I'm sure, same thing. You're talking about, several, two, three, four, $5,000.
wow. I'm honored to say that Professor Cynthia Brame is with us tonight, and we're honored to have her. So, Professor Brame, thank you so much for joining the platform. Patricia Bruce, we love you. Eric, this young lady, Patricia Bruce, was the first one out to secure funding from the MWR 360 fundable platform. First one out. So, guys, once again, this proves that it's real. These are average, everyday people who saw the opportunity and just ran with it. Fernando, I'll let you take us home. But again, just honored to work with you, sir. The relationship that we're building. And that's what's so beautiful about this business. You get a chance to not only be in business with people, but to build friendships that will last long beyond MWR. This is lifetime stuff right here. And Eric mentioned, hanging out, with people that can assist you, people that will help you win. When I go to Eric Wilner and share my dreams and vision, he doesn't say, Gerald, you're crazy. He was like, what can I do to help? Those are the kind of folks that you want to be around. Fernando, I'll give it to you, sir.
Well, I'm speechless right now from so many things that I'm hearing tonight. But I do want to thank you, Dr. G.W. Parker, Mr. Eric Wilner. Phenomenal job as always. Being in business with you for the last 3.5 years has been phenomenal. We feel powerful. We've been through many changes, but we're finally landing where we want to be with this incredible platform. After 31 years of being a part of this incredible industry, we've made lots of money, my wife and I, but we have been able to enjoy this process with the last company. This is the third company in 31 years that we've actually been a part of. It's been the best decision ever made. Yes, we came in the pioneering stages, but right now the company is really positioning themselves where they need to be. I'm putting money in my precious metals, and I'm already starting to see residual income. So I can't wait to put more money in because the compensation plan and precious metal is the way to go, besides everything else. So this wraps up the entire conversation in regards to lifestyle legacy. And Randy, congratulations, by the way. You have inspired me to know that you already put in $100,000, 69 cents an ounce in residual income and rental agreements. That is crazy. We're excited, but thanks so much. And great seeing you all here. I see a lot of new faces. I see our regional director, Anna Rodriguez, who came in and blew this business out of the water by becoming a regional director in only 3 months. And she's been around here ever since. She was the first person that we enrolled, and there was a commitment. So when she said, hey, we're jumping on, I said, listen, if you say yes, we're going to say yes, Martha and I, and we commit to the contract, and here we are, enjoying the ride. Thanks so much.
God bless you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us. We're here every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Let's commit to bringing 2 people with us next week. Let's double our numbers. We've got to tell this story. And it's the beautiful part, Eric, is that the only way you get access to all that they've seen tonight is that they've got to be a part of MWR. So who's going to tell the story? Somebody has to. It may as well be us because they're willing to pay you a ridiculous amount of money. Let's help some people become homeowners. Let's help some people start some investment vehicles. Take advantage of this move with silver. Look at what Randy Christensen is doing. This is phenomenal. Where else would you have gone, or can you go to get a shot like this?
Nowhere.
I don't know, and I'll put this to bed right now, but I'll tell you what I found interesting, and people don't talk about it. One of the things that Randy said was that he's forced, because of his age, to take money out of his 401k. Look at that. The government that encourages you to put money in a 401k so that it'll grow up and then be more taxable as they require it to be out.
Yeah.
Imagine if Randy had had MWR and some of our advisors that would have shown him where to put his money, that he would never have to take it out until he wanted to. These are just some strong things. And so just remember I said that, the fact that there's not financial literacy in our schools, I'm convinced it's not because that hasn't been thought about. I'm sure it's been thought about a lot, but the status quo is what Wall Street, Washington, and a lot of big businesses would like to see people. And if they only knew, they would have a much more fair game to play, because there is a money game out there.
No question about it. With that being said, Eric, thank you again for joining me on the platform. As always, love you, brother. Well, listen,
Love
good
you
night,
too, man.
guys. We'll look forward to seeing you on next Wednesday. Count on it. Take care. Miss
Good
Holly,
night.
take care. Good night, guys.
Take care. Have a good night.
Marvin
Bye,
McGee.
Jennifer.
So,
Good night,
Amy.
everybody.
good night,
Good
Randy.
night,
Thank you.
Great
Ron,
to
Take care.
thank you.
Cassandra,
Good
Thanks,
night.
Cynthia.
Thank you.
Awesome
Soldier.
job. Awesome
Bye,
job.
Excellent
David.
presentation.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it, Marvin. Put
Take
so.
care.
Yes, sir.
Dr.
Yes, sir.
Wayne.
Ready every day. I love y'all,
All
gentlemen.
right. Love it, guys. Thank you.
Good night.
20 years. Good night.
All right.
My man, Mr. Dean.
Mr.
He's
Wilder.
in the game, ladies and gentlemen. He's in the game. Good to see you, brother.
Yes,
Fernando.
sir. Yes, sir. All right.
Good deal.
Bye now.
Mr. Parker, can you give Fernando my number?
I'll send it over to